Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the brand new 2024 BMW X1 M35i. The M35i was strictly reserved for the X2. Now this is the first M version for the X1. This model's finished off in space silver metallic, and its MSRP is just over $58,000. We have a very sporty, smaller size SUV from BMW with a lot to go over. So let's start off with what this is powered by. This is the 2-liter twin power turbo 4-cylinder. It is paired to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, and it pumps out 312 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 3,700-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds. This even has a top speed of 155 miles an hour. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, take a look at how sporty this looks. It looks like a mini X5 or XM with just its overall design. Up front, still retains the kidney grille, finished off in gloss black. There's a camera as well as a sensor, active grille shutters behind all of these vertical slats, even the M badge on that driver's side. This has LED headlights with DRLs and turn signals, and then plenty of cutouts in the entire lower section. There's parking sensors, there's even air inlets where you can see part of that front tire to give you that much more cooling and airflow. In the lower section, there's gloss black just to break it up a little bit, and very nice indentions coming down both sides of the hood. So like I said, very, very sporty for this size. As we work our way to the side, this has a set of 20-inch wheels with the two-tone design. This even gets the M Sport brakes, finished off in silver, and this has the adaptive suspension as well. Very nice lines for the fender arches. There's gloss black in the lower side skirt, really nice indentation in the lower section of the door. And then this even has the newer design for the door handles, has more of that flush integration to it. Power folding side mirrors, which are finished off in gloss black. There's a camera and turn signal. Full moonroof too, with gloss black on the roof racks. It's surrounding the window trim. And then take a look at the side profile. Like I mentioned earlier, X5, XM vibes with all of these lines in its shape. And then check out the integrated spoiler with the fins on the top on both sides. There's the third brake light with more gloss black accents, the wiper blade, really cool set of LED taillights. They protrude into the power trunk, backup camera, all the sensors, and then that quad tip dual exhaust. Now you can remote start this if you triple tap on the lock button. You can use that to shut it off. You can use the key fob as well, or the button up underneath to gain access to the cargo space. Now for the smaller size that this is, there's actually a decent amount of space. There's a cargo net on one side, a little bit of a cubby on the other. You can also lift up the entire floor. Take a look at all of that hidden space. I'm sure you could lift this up if you needed to for some larger items, but that is cool to see. We have a cover, and then the back seats do fold down if you need that much more interior space. And then the two buttons, like every other power liftgate, to close it or to lock it as well. Now as we work our way to these back seats, take a look at this two-tone interior. So there's red leather along with the black leather, Harman Kardon for the audio, brushed aluminum accents, very cool design for that release handle, and a lot of storage down below. And then the two-tone works its way to these leather seats that do recline. So it gives you that much more comfort for this smaller size. And at 5'10", honestly, I am super comfortable. I'm very impressed with the interior space. There's storage nets, there's climate vents, auxiliary, some storage down below. This even has the full moonroof like I mentioned earlier. There's an armrest in the middle, which also has two cup holders. And then this is the seat all the way reclined. These are all the way up. Gives you that much more comfort. You can also fold down all three individually by pulling on those tabs. And then as far as visibility goes, very large windows on both sides of that pillar. So honestly, BMW did a great job with visibility and sizing for the smaller size that this is. Now the front door panel is just like the rear. This has memory seating adjustments, all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, liftgate release, and a lot more storage. And then the M Sport seats up front have this nice cutout with the lateral supports. They are automatic with the exception of that manual adjustment for your leg support. and then take a look at the all-new interior for this X1. We have the leather M Sport steering wheel with some nice brushed aluminum accents for the lower spokes there, as well as surrounding the controls for your cruise control. You have volume, music, Bluetooth, and voice commands. Massive paddle shifters as well. And then we have the all-new curved screen that is shrunken for this interior size. BMW nailed it with the sizing for this screen. Very nice for this. Let's fire it up though, and we can go over the rest of the information. So for the digital gauge cluster, the current setup has miles per hour left side, tach on the right side. There's some fixed information in the lower section. And then we can use the buttons on the right side of the steering wheel to further go through all of this content. So you don't have a ton, but it is very helpful for what is available. You can also go through this content and change the entire layout. So it just depends on how you would like to view this information. And then the last one is for the head-up display. So you have a sport view to show your RPMs there. You can go to assisted view for your distance pacing. And then you also have a standard view with just miles per hour and the speed limit sign. Left side, you just get your headlight adjustments along with one air vent. Leather covers this entire dash. And then, like I said, we have a little bit more shrunken of an infotainment system. So we have some buttons over on this left side where you can quickly get into your audio, your phone, and your navigation. And then we have home right in the middle where you have the nav, and you have some info that you can scroll through on this left side. You can easily get into all this info if you need to, and then quickly go back home. You can get into your climates, turn on all of that, so you can go through all of that as needed. And then last up, you have a ton of apps that you can get into. So you have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have your displays, your interior lighting, exterior lighting, owner's manual, all that information you can scroll through as needed. And then in the lower section, you do have shortcuts to your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then your climate adjustments for the temperatures, which you can easily get into. Underneath that, really nice trim accent that leads to 2 air vents on that passenger side. We have a central one in the middle, along with some defrosters. And then the wireless charging pad is on this back side. You have an area in the lower section to hold your phone in place. You can put some smaller items there if you needed to as well. There's 2 cup holders, 2 auxiliaries, and a 12 volt. And then you have a lot of space in this lower section, which is great to see. For the floating design up top, we have the hazards along with a parking sensor button, so you can quickly get into the 360 camera just by pushing on that. And you have some shortcuts you can go through. You can even pull up the full screen and get into the 3D view as well. Now, if I put this into drive, so reverse is forwards, drive is back, and we push on these buttons on the left side, now we have that forward-facing camera for added visibility. If I pull on this one more time, that allows you to use these paddle shifters as needed. And then there's no park icon, simply just push on the e-brake, and that is for park. You will see that light up. Now, there's a few different modes that you can put this into, and those will actually change the gauge cluster too. It will change the exhaust note slightly. You can hear it adjust. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but you have those 3 modes if you want to use those. And then right behind that, you have a shortcut to get into your driver assist as well as your drivetrain and chassis. So you can go through all of that info as needed. There's auto hold along with tuning, volume and power for the audio. And then push on this button right here and the center armrest will open up. It's pretty thin, so maybe a phone or some smaller items. And then you have the glove box that gives you a lot more space. Up top, there's the dome lights as well as the controls for the sunroof and that sunshade. And like I mentioned earlier, tons of visibility for the smaller size that this is. You can easily see over both shoulders. And in sport mode, second gear, here we go. This has a good exhaust note for it. For being a 4-cylinder, it doesn't sound like a 4-cylinder at all. BMW did a great job with that. It has that deep, almost inline 6-cylinder note. Now, of course, that could be the sound. So if we shut off the iconic sound and we give it an acceleration just in more of a normal setting, it still sounds good. It's just very, very quiet, not as deep. Some of this could be piped in sound, of course, and not from the exhaust itself. A lot of newer vehicles do offer that, so that's what that could be. But now that we're behind the wheel of basically a $60,000 BMW X1, aside from the X2, this is the smallest SUV in the BMW lineup. And honestly, it doesn't feel that small. I own an X5, so it is small when I drive those back to back, X5 versus X1. But when you are in this, I mean, it feels very open. The hood there is very low, so you can easily see over both sides. It's so small, you can maneuver this well in parking lot situations. If you're not looking for a large SUV, if you live in the city, maybe you do a lot more city driving and you need something compact, yet it's very spacious on the interior. Super good design. And as I've already mentioned, I think, as far as driving it, it's quiet, it's smooth. It is what you would expect from a BMW. So we have the top line, or top trim level, and we can avoid a squirrel there. We have the top trim level now for the X1, and it's definitely nice. Let's do a quick turnaround here where we don't even get off the pavement. So like I said, very quick. And the paddles do a great job. Super responsive too. So it's a lot of fun to drive. If you want a sporty version of a smaller SUV, under 60 grand, it's still expensive, I think, for an X1, but when you factor in the performance that is added, the bigger brakes, the more power from the engine, sportier seats, you get a lot of the M performance that you are paying for. And this is a great option. Super fun to drive. That is going to wrap it up for the all-new 2024 BMW X1 M35i. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sporty M version for me today. Check out their website. Also, give this video a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. We get some pops and gurgles in that exhaust, and I will see you all in the next video.